I wonder sometimes, wonder if I was wrong. Was I wrong? No, right? Trying to right by got me here. Well, all I am is alone. It's her eyes, those lips, and those legs don't compare at all. And I bet all they do is distract me for now. Deep down, when I face it, all I want is you. Yeah. All I want is you. Yeah. All I want is you now. Now that you're gone. No, they don't smile or smell like you. No, they don't make me lie or really look like you. No, they don't photograph. No, they don't love like you.
Hey, welcome back, viewers. It's James Kalm, and tonight I am your frozen ass reporter, and we are down on the Lower East Side. We're gonna run into Spencer Brownstone Gallery and take a little look at an exhibition by Mark Dagley titled Radical Structures. We'll take a little sweep of the exhibition. We'll probably get a chance to catch some glimpses of some of New York and Brooklyn's best known formalist abstract painters hanging out here tonight. Well, I was having a conversation with some friends, so I was able to let the gallery kind of thin out a little bit so we can hear a little better and maybe see some of these pieces with less people standing in front. This piece is titled Untitled Brass Relief Number 2. Brushed brass, 50 by 41 inches. Well, this is actually, oh, hey, there's the artist right there. There's Mark. This is actually a retrospective starting from 1977. It's titled Stacked, 1991. Acrylic polymer resin on canvas and wood construction. I'll read a little bit from the press release. The spectrum of materials and radical structures, polymer resins, vinyl acrylic, wire mesh, and brushed copper, to name a few, traces Dagley's thought examination of structures and texture. Preparatory drawings of his paintings resemble blueprints. We'll come back and look a little closer at those later. And reveal his highly methodical approach. Despite the studied and calculated qualities that point inward. Anyway, so in a lot of ways, Mark is really, I would say, one of the high formalists, or at least he's playing with a lot of very formalistic elements. And by that I'm talking about line, color, form, shape, and a lot of this is also dealing with the idea of what is a painting. This piece is titled Crib, 1987. Now we'll get a chance to look at some of his, this is the resin surface on this up close. And this is a very, it's what I would call a very immaculate surface. I think that he probably maybe painted in these sections and then poured the resin on the surface. But I was talking about dealing with the idea of what is a painting, and in a lot of ways this kind of like a, I don't know, a chess game or a kind of a rebus about what it means to be a painting. So we've got the rectangle generally that's colored, then we've got a section here that's cut out in the middle, which actually makes the painting kind of function like a frame. And then we've got more rectangles, maybe those are squares, sort of cut out along the bottom. This piece is 60 by 70 inches, and in certain ways this is like some of the early Frank Stellas where they're on a very thick stretcher. It's titled Ziggurat, and the way they've got this placed out here on the floor, it functions more as a sculpture, but on the other hand, you could almost see this as a painting that is placed on the floor instead of the wall. And again, we've got the acrylic polymer resin on canvas. So this is from 1987. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think you could go back and maybe the rough cuts or the James Kalm report 6 or 7 years ago, and I think we covered one of Mark's shows at Minus Space. This piece is titled Constructed Facade 1991, Acrylic on Jute and Wood Construction. So again, we're playing with the idea of the shaped canvas. And then he's got these, I don't know what you'd call them, plinths, stands, little wood sections that he's got the paintings balanced on. And so we've got a jute net that actually lets you see through the fabric, through the picture plane, and that's played off against this section, which is on linen. It's 130 by 93 inches. This is nice. We got a little study for constructed facade. This is titled Vogue 1993, acrylic and enamel on canvas. And, well, we'll take a look at this. You can actually see on the side here that Mark has probably got at least a couple, maybe several layers of acrylic paint on here, and he's got a great kind of surface, although there's a sign of the hand. Maybe he was using rollers on part of this, and I would bet that Frank Stella has been someone that Mark has been looking at and thinking about for a long time. This is a very punchy piece. This is titled Vanishing Point 1994. Now, I was talking to Mark a couple of years ago, and we were sort of discussing his history. He said that I think he started showing with Tony Shafrazi in Soho back in the mid 80s. This is 97 by 59 inches. And yeah, I like the Starburst or the Vanishing Point. This is another multi-panel piece where he's using chicken wire acrylic polymer resin on canvas and wood construction. And here we've got actually the wooden section on the bottom is more a part of the picture plane, and it's got resin, and then he's kind of brushed in the X. I think one of the things about using this idea of the see-through picture plane is that it really lets you see how one of these pieces is designed. You can see all of the little carpenter techniques that someone would use for making a stretcher. And also, I like the way that this is all just natural color, the color of the boards, the gray of the chicken wire, the silver bolts. This is titled Ghost. 1987 acrylic polymer resin on canvas. 72 by 70 by 4. Well, I think also Mark is a consummate craftsman. You know, the way that he's cut the canvas and fit in little sections of raw cotton duck in the corners. You know, it's actually very beautifully constructed. This kind of makes me think of some of Joe Bradley's robot pieces. This is Untitled 1976 wooden cardboard construction, and I think this is the earliest piece in the show. I think someone said that he used this as a part of his portfolio to get into art school. It's 52 by 27 by 5. Well, we'll just take a kind of a scan over these walls of drawings, although it's nice because you get to see sort of his ideas for his process. Someone else was commenting that one of the interesting parts is the kind of consistency that Mark has. You know, a lot of his ideas he's kind of recycled over the years, maybe in slightly different variations, maybe different materials, slightly different approaches. They've got a couple of pieces out here in the sculpture garden. This is Untitled, bas relief number 2, 2017, brushed brass, 50 by 41. Well, I think, Mark's use of various materials and the shaping of the canvas or the picture plane like this kind of puts these pieces into almost a realm that I think Don Judd talked about in his breakthrough kind of manifesto of minimalism, is somewhere between painting and sculpture. This is Untitled Copper Relief, 30 by 31. It's from 2017. But there is a kind of an inherent interest in the color and the surface in these. Well, I was told that Mark did this piece about 2 weeks ago, so we're getting into a Christmassy mood here. This piece is titled Evergreen, enamel on MDF wood, 96 by 40. And I like the variations on the green and these light edges. Now, you showed with Tony Shafrazi back in the 80s, right?
Yes, in this show there's 3 pieces that were shown in his gallery in 1987. That's correct, the 3 resin pieces.
The resin pieces, yeah. I think I saw that show.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I've got a question for you. As I came in and I was walking around, I was saying that you're one of the maybe more interesting people that is doing what I would call high formalism. And but you were hanging around with Tony Shafrazi's people, and I know you're a friend of George Condo and people like that. Did you ever have any kind of a desire to get involved in more of the neo-expressionism and kind of the weird graffiti art, figurative, strange stuff?
Never had any interest in that at all. Tony, first he was showing Olivier Mosset at the time.
Yes.
A lot of people may not remember. So I was more interested in that sort of wing of the gallery. He had Gerard Hemsworth, Olivier Mosset, so that was a little.
Would you consider Karl Apfelschnitten part of that, or was he something else?
I vaguely remember Karl. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The name. I thought he was a Mary Boone or something.
I started out with Tony, and I think he was working with him for quite a few years. Where do you think formalism is headed today? Do you think it's, because I've noticed a lot of people kind of going into, I guess what I would call neo-minimalism. Do you think formalism has become more of an interest for a lot of young painters?
I think it's actually, once it becomes interesting for younger painters, it's probably finished. So I'm looking for something a little more revolutionary, a little more radical, a little more extreme. So formalism, I'm not quite so sure what that's all about. So I don't know really what to tell you.
Okay, well, what is that, 35 or 40 years worth of work, something like that?
This is 40 years.
So you were doing the first pieces when you were 6 or 7 years old, is that about right?
No, 20.
Okay.
Actually, this year is my 60th birthday, and also Condo's, as you remember. So this is a big year. So this show's like a big event for me on that level. It's kind of a little bittersweet to see some of the work up again, which was pretty much ridiculed at the time. And
well, we'll see if we can get some more. We'll see if we can get some more people to ridicule you.
I'm sure you will.
That's always a good way to let you know that you're still alive and making some waves.
Go right ahead.
Anyway,
I can take it.
Thanks, Mark. The show looks great. Congratulations. 60 years old. Hey, you're still young. All right. Thanks. James Kalm reporting on Mark Dagley, Radical Structures, here at the Spencer Brownstone Gallery, 170B Suffolk Street on the Lower East Side. You can leave your critiques, comments, suggestions, ideas, points of argument below. And as always, help me, people. Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, all I want is you, yeah. All I want is you. It's always better with the applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Just makes me feel better. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a fantastic day. My name is Priceless, and any donation will be gladly appreciated. For more information, you can follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at ManIamPriceless. Have a blessed day and a better tomorrow. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you believe in it.
Thank you. Thank you.